Well, in business news, the electric vehicle sector is going through a downturn that has sparked concern among some car makers and suppliers about the viability of the market. The exponential industry growth of recent years has slowed and prices commanded by EV makers have weakened. South Korea's leading battery maker LG Energy Solution forecasts further easing of demand next year. That's because of high interest rates and economic uncertainty in major markets like China and Europe. It has downgraded its projection for sales growth in 2024 and is lowering production at its factory in Poland. The industry downturn has forced General Motors to walk back its target to build 400,000 EVs by mid-2024. Ford Motor has scaled back its EV output target by 1 year. Last week, Tesla chief Elon Musk warned that high interest rates would hurt demand. Experts say there are many factors at play. The initial boom was driven by early adopters willing to pay top dollar for new models. And at the moment, supply is outstripping demand. That's forcing car makers to reduce prices, which is cutting, of course, into their profitability. There's also heavy discounts on petrol-powered vehicles, and the rise of cheaper Chinese EVs also putting pressure on the industry. On this analysis on this, Rico Luman, senior economist for transport, logistics and automotive at ING Research, joins us live from Amsterdam. Mr. Luman, there are global factors right now, the coincidental, so high interest rates, uncertain economic growth. But if you look at the EV market, it's at a stage when those who could afford it have bought their EVs. They can afford to pay for their convictions. But we're now looking at the middle ground to make up that demand. They have not caught on just yet. But I think would it be too early to talk about viability of the market?
Yeah, that's correct. We've seen a slowdown, a general slowdown in car sales at the moment. And when you look at EV sales, it's slowing down because we're actually in the middle of a first and a second wave. We've seen the EV lovers and the people with higher incomes already buying an EV. And now we're just before the second wave, where the middle class people also have to make the shift to EVs. And they actually need more affordable cars to make that shift. That's what we see.
So a price point that has to change, perhaps better models more suited to those who just want a small electric vehicle, and maybe better charging infrastructure as well to encourage more people to realize that this is the way to go and they can afford to do this.
Exactly. It's a matter of affordability, but also there are some hurdles indeed in terms of charging capacity and charging infrastructure. People need to charge somewhere near, and we have many people living in the city centers, and for those people, it can be hard to charge near their homes. So that's an important point as well. We've seen that charging infrastructure is developing across the world, but it's lagging actually the adoption of EVs in terms of sales share. So that has to catch up from here, and that's required to make the second wave happening.
Anyway, this might be the point at which you sort the wheat from the chaff. So, for example, China, the figures are glowing, but that's only if you are BYD. So small makers, and we've had early this month, 15 promising EV startups forced to collapse because they just cannot compete on price. So this may be a point where you not just sort out demand, but also supply. The winners, for whatever reason, and what reasons are going to win, and the losers are just going to fade out.
I think you're right. Well, we're just about to see consolidation in the next decade, I would say, in the EV market, because the market is growing indeed, but there's still many suppliers, many manufacturers and brands out there. And it's very hard to compete when prices are dropping. And it's also very hard to make the production running and to raise the production figures. So in the end, there will be a consolidation. We have seen in the case of Tesla that it can be very hard to make progress in production. So the others will also face these challenges.
Oh, thanks. That Rico Luman speaking to us there from ING Research.